Dr. Travis Grindstaff, number 9, and then Captain Katie Toner, number 12. And I'll just open it up to you guys. You guys have been here all week, and you've had, it seems like, a great time. I know we've been seeing all the practices that you've been doing. You've been able to fly a couple of our NASCAR drivers, and Austin Cindric and Harrison Burton, so a few of our media members as well. The weather's been pretty good for the most part. Just tell us, how's your experience been this year, and knowing that this is the 12th consecutive time that you've been here at Daytona?
Absolutely. Well, first off, thanks for having us. Listen, the week has been, eventful, as every Daytona 500 week is, and certainly eventful for us. It's a chance for us to get out and engage with the public, engage with we were at Embry-Riddle University, so easy opportunity there to reach out to future Air Force and military officers, and just a chance for us to show the Thunderbird brand and what we're all about, and to to work towards our mission of recruit, retain, inspire.
Well, again, we certainly do appreciate it. I'm just going to go ahead and open it up for questions. Again, this is something that we all look forward to every year. We're going to start out with Greg right over here.
Hey guys, Greg with Forbes. We're retired Air Force Army, and I talked to the doc. I talked to Angry and Agent yesterday. Call signs, and what kind of cars do you guys drive when you're not flying?
It's a good question. Call sign is Slinga. To hear that story, you got to buy me a beer, at least one. Let's see. I drive a souped-up Camry. No, just kidding. It's just a Camry, hybrid version. I got a Ford F-150, and I'm a big Mustang fan.
Hey y'all, so my call sign is Primo, Thunderbird 8, advanced pilot and narrator. So I've also drive a Toyota Camry hybrid. So I've been in the Pacific for most of my career, so just before I got into the Thunderbirds, I was at Shaw Air Force Base, and I was only there a year. So that's really when I had to actually buy a car in America. So.
Yeah, so I guess we can all add in our cars here. I also drive a Camry, non-hybrid. Yeah, but the car that stole a little piece of my heart, I own a 1995 Miata that I kind of tore all the way down, rebuilt everything, the engine, all by myself, kind of put it back together, watched it run for the first time, put a turbo on it. So that's the one that really stole my heart and kind of competes with my wife for my time, which she's okay with. But, it's been great. It's a good convertible. We go riding with the top down, so it's been awesome.
Of course. I'm going to mix things up. So as mentioned, my call sign is Agent. I'm Captain Katie Toner. I'm Thunderbird 12, the Public Affairs Officer. And to mix things up, I drive an Audi Q5.
She's shopping for a Camry.
Okay, next question.
All the way back here,
Listen,
way by the cameras.
Very, very back.
So quick question for you guys. Obviously, they mentioned this is about the 12th year you guys have been doing the flyovers for Daytona 500. Is there ever a moment where it gets dull for you, or what is your favorite part of the race?
It never gets dull. There's always something going on. There's always a challenge to overcome. Just today we're working several different, challenges, as I like to call them, some people may refer to them as problems. Yeah, there's always something to work towards, and even when we feel like we're operating at high level and doing really well, we're always seeking to be better. Favorite part of the race, the crashes are fun, but I don't like seeing people tear up their beautiful cars. I like seeing the race to the finish.
Mark.
Mark Long with AP. I'm just curious, maybe you guys can take us through Austin and Harrison, how they did. Did you manage to get them dizzy, even queasy, something like that?
Yeah, so we went up on Thursday. I flew Harrison, and they were a little nervous going into the flight, both of them. Slinga flew Austin, so I'll let him talk about Austin. But they absolutely killed it. So going into the flight, I was going to go a little harder on them. They're professional athletes, and I knew they could handle it. We did the whole brief, and they were super excited. And we took them out to to the airspace down south over the shuttle launch pads and the landing strip, and we put them through the ringer. So the profile we actually go through is the exact same profile that our solo pilots go through in the actual demonstration. We taught them how to do the proper G-strain. We taught them how to, prepare their bodies for the actual flight themselves. We did loops, we did rolls, and we both pulled 9.28 Gs. So 9.2 times the force of gravity on your body, which is a lot. So I think the car drivers on the track pull about 4 lateral Gs, kind of turning around the track here. And these are G's straight down. So, the blood's trying to get pulled from your brain. So you got to do all the proper G-strain techniques not to pass out. And they absolutely crushed it. And their 6 sacks were empty. So.
And
One of the things when we do these fan flights, we don't always get to fly out as a 2-ship. Us as fighter pilots, we're very familiar with flying with wingmen, whether it's 2-ship, 4-ship, et cetera. But we don't always get to do these FAM flights with 2 aircraft. And we had that opportunity that day. And, these guys are race car drivers. They, kind of grew up together in the same area, went to the same high school, buddies. So the competitive juices were flowing for certain when we were going out there. It was a blast.
Austin fit okay, right? He's pretty tall, dude.
Barely. I had to shoehorn him in there, but we're going, buddy.
Questions? Hold on one second. We're going to bring you a mic. Straight from Texas.
My name is Kenny, and I have a 2-part question. First of all, Katie, tell us about you and how you inspire younger women, little kiddos, because I've had some time to spend with you. And the rest of you, when we're flying on a plane, we look at trees and stuff when we're landing. What do y'all see at the speed when you fly over a big event like this at the track?
Thanks, Kenny. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm still living a dream over here. So to think that I'm even inspiring anybody is kind of it's still a little shocking, I think, to be new in this position. What I can say though is, for me, I used to see the Thunderbirds fly at every graduation for the Air Force Academy. I went to the Air Force Academy. I graduated in 2015, and so I got to see them fly every single year except for 2013. That was sad. And every single year, I had no idea they had public affairs on the team, but you get this feeling, and I don't know how to describe it other than the Thunderbirds provide this inspirational feeling. You just feel it in your chest, you feel it in your soul, and all I can say is it's hope, I guess. It's inspiration, it's hope, and when I found out that I had the opportunity to even apply to be part of this team, obviously I jumped on it. and I really just wanted to work with 135 like-minded individuals who are excellent at what they do, and I wanted to surround myself with people who were better than me, who would make me a better person. And I truly believe that our team is, especially this year, we have an incredible team of people. I hope you guys get to meet and visit with all of them. They're all wonderful. We've got a few of them out in the back as well, so hopefully you guys get to meet and chat with all of them. Like I said, they're all incredible. And so as far as inspiring young girls goes, all I can say for younger women is just go for your dreams. Like, don't stand in your own way. Don't let society dictate what you can or can't do. If you want to do something, go do it. That's what I have to say about that.
In terms of your flyover question, when you're 500 feet going about 420 to 500 knots, as you can imagine, things are going past pretty fast. Our commander leader, Lieutenant Colonel Elliott, will be communicating from the ground up to him. So he'll be hyper-focused on, flying over the start-finish line at the exact TOT, and the other 5 pilots around him will be hyper-focused on being in formation and watching him and being where they need to be. So it'll happen fast, basically.
Go to Terry right here beside him. There we go.
Terry Sabiston, WNDB, also F-15 Avionics B-Shop, so know a little bit about it. But how many different airplanes have you flown, and how many hours do you guys have? Y'all are, to get to the Thunderbirds, we know you got to rack up some hours.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my overall flying, so I've been in the Air Force for almost 15 years, been flying nearly the entire time. Total flight hours somewhere between 31 and 3,200 hours. I started off as a navigator, about 1,200 hours in the AC-130H, mostly doing CAS over Afghanistan. Then I transitioned to pilot and was an A-10 pilot for 7.5 years. Again, Afghanistan, Syria time, and then transitioned to the F-16 when I joined the team last summer.
Questions? Okay, all of them. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so I've been flying for about 8 or 9 years now. I've been F-16s my whole career. In pilot training, we started out on the T6 and transitioned to the T-38. Overall, I've got about 1,400 hours, and about 1,100 of them are in the F-16, the greatest jet in the world.
Captain Grindstaff?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so my job is particularly incredible. I have probably the best job in the Air Force. I might be a little biased. So I got to go to medical school. The Air Force paid for me to do that, which was amazing. I got to do a residency as well with them, and then came back with an active duty F-16 unit. But as a flight surgeon, one of my jobs is to fly with as many airframes as I possibly can, whether that be Navy, Air Force, Army, because we provide medical care on the airplanes, but also we need to know what these guys go through to keep them safe in the air. That's the one thing that we do. We even get to turn wrenches with the maintainers. We get to get out and do the things so that we know what they do so they can keep them safe and go home safely to their families. So for me, it's pretty cool. I get to log hours, about 100 hours now on the F-16, but I have about 500 total hours in different aircraft, and that's in about 12 to 13 different airframes. So I'll keep racking that up over the course of my career to gain experience, but it's an incredible job.
Captain Toner?
I'll round it out and say I have the fewest flight hours of any of these gentlemen up here, and not just because of rank, but because of position. I do get to fly a little bit with the team, but what I'll say is me and my team, if you see cockpit footage or something like that, that's coming out from my guys. So we're the ones out there taking photo and video in the air. We got a couple of them back there. They're waving. So me and a couple of those guys will actually go up in the back of these F-16s, fly, take some photos, videos, so that we can share that experience with all of you. I think that answers the question, maybe.
Thanks for your service. Appreciate it.
Any more questions? Before we let the Thunderbirds go, our president, Frank Kelleher, has got a special presentation. Yesterday, actually, the Thunderbirds presented him with this. You know, you may see these at different places within our place here, as far as our offices here in the media center, drivers meeting room, they go everywhere. But Frank's got something he'd like to say to our friends with the Thunderbirds.
So I get asked a lot in this new position of, all right, so you're the 9th ever track president. What are you going to change? What are you going to do? How are you going to evolve it? How are you going to make it better? And the answer from my heart out of the gate is, well, we need to maintain and protect the legacy of the sport and of the people that came before me, and the history and the memories. And what you all do is part of the fabric of the great American race. The Daytona 500. And as we were walking around the property yesterday, a few of you even noticed that your jets are part of our marketing, creative, and collateral. So you truly are family to us and special to us. So when I get asked that question, I think about legacy, and I think of you all. You mean so much to me personally, and I know to our fans. So we hope that we can continue this partnership for decades to come. And as Russell alluded to, very grateful and honored for the gift that you gave us. And we have for each of you today a commemorative ticket that you'll notice to where the Thunderbirds are part of that. So again, thank you for everything that you do for us. We hope you have a great time. And I think you're here for an extra day or two, so maybe we can have some fun.
We're going to move those chairs to the right. Come on over here, DJ. We're going to pull those out of the way. Thank you, Frank. You hold that. Make sure you hold that. I'll sort of do this. How do we look here?
7, can I have you tilt it down a little bit?
I'm going to need you.
You guys go ahead. 1, 2,
3 what? Get that way. Why don't you look at this map? Come on, come with him. We'll get right there. We go. We'll get the truck in there too. And move this up. Ease over just a hair to the right. Ease over just a hair this way. There we go. Look at that gentleman right over there. Terry, stay back. Awesome. Alan, come around here. Come here. Just hold that right there. Okay, everybody good? Good to go? Wonderful. All right, thank you.
Major, did you say you flew A-10s? I retired from Special Forces, and you guys saved my ass more than once in Afghanistan.
What group were you in?
I retired with the 20th, but I was over there with the 5th. And I always said every time I see a A-10 pilot, I'm going to think of a person. Seriously.
Gunship or A-10. Be a little more excited here.
Yep.
Group, 5th group, 10th group.
Yeah.
Isaac, you got me on? We got it some back there? Thank you, Isaac. We'll continue with our run of press conferences here today. Last year, the Speedway, along with Engage Your Destiny, which is a nonprofit organization committed to bringing honor, hope, and healing to military men and women and their families, it was announced that we would have the Heroes Honor Festival May 27th through 28th here at the Speedway. And so we're very, very excited for that event to come, and it's really around the corner. But we wanted to bring some folks in here that could elaborate a little bit more and tell you about it. We're very, very blessed today to have David Wilson, the president of Toyota Racing Development, with us today. Ben Peterson, who is the CEO and the founder of Engage Your Destiny, along with Paul Doschel, the group manager of motorsports, Toyota Motor North America. So I'll start out with you, Ben. Really, how did this become to be, the idea of it? Okay, we got an idea, and then how do we get it started and come to activation? How did that go?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Russell. Hey guys, my name is Ben Peterson. I'm humbled and honored to have this opportunity to be here. Obviously with Toyota, you guys have just been phenomenal, and special thanks to Frank and Daytona and NASCAR. You guys have been amazing. I served in Iraq in 2008 and 2009, and to cut to the chase, I lost 7 of my guys in a helicopter crash my first week on the ground. So to say that we had a wild tour and that coming home was a big deal is a bit of an understatement. And so we came home, and something took place that we didn't really expect. During that time, many of us forget that protesters had started showing up at Iraq veteran funerals. And over 100 funerals were protested by folks that disagreed with the war in Iraq. And this organic movement rose up of Vietnam veterans that said, never again are we going to allow what happened to us happen to our sons and to our daughters. Oh, we got a grunt out there. God bless you. And so I come home and I get off the bus, and the first thing I see is 100 Vietnam veterans lined up, shoulder to shoulder, holding the American flag and guarding my welcome home. And, you know, I come from a military family, so I saw that, and, you know, I saw those guys' faces, and I knew there were men there that had been spit on, had been called baby killers, had been shamed and not told anyone that they had served for over 30 years in this nation, because it was a shameful thing to be a Vietnam veteran in the U.S. And it was after that that God really put this vision into my heart to fill a speedway with tens of thousands of people to give Vietnam veterans the most incredible welcome home that they can imagine. And so that is what has become the Heroes Honor Festival, where May 27, 28, we're going to be giving these guys the biggest, baddest, most patriotic welcome home in American history. Where's my hua? There he is. Yeah. So we got Toby Keith headlining. We got some bombers that are going to fly over. Navy SEALs are going to parachute in. I mean, these guys are going to crap red, white, and blue when they leave, I'll tell you what. So we're really excited, and our whole mission is to bring this honor so that actually we can lead a lot of folks into great programs where healing can be found. So,
Thank you. Paul, why did you feel, to get Toyota involved in this project?
Yeah, when Ben came to us and Frank from the track, and they just started talking about the impact that Vietnam had, and I did have some of that impact. My uncle served in Big Red 1 in Vietnam, and definitely understand the impact that it had on his life as he came back, and just tried to deal with all of that throughout the remainder of his life. And when you talk about just being a good human being and a compassionate human being, you can't not be open to a conversation like this and supporting a cause that is there to recognize and to help heal people, and to try to restore a little bit. Maybe it's really late in life, but at least help to recognize and to give credit where credit is due and support that. And from a company perspective, it allows us to utilize funds that we have available, but really from just being a human brand that wants to help people and be there for people, it's a perfect fit for us. And it's not about us here, it's about the veterans that'll be here, and celebrate them, and to just really provide anything we can to make it the best experience possible for them, and really show them how much we appreciate them.
And David, you've got a military background. I know you are just as excited about the event as well.
Yeah, I'm absolutely honored to sit up here with Ben and Paul. You know, someone who was born overseas in an Army hospital, spent 18 years moving from Army post to Army post. You know, I used to think that that serving your country was a rite of passage. You know, like birth, puberty, adulthood. But I took for granted the sacrifice that it takes on these soldiers and their families to make that career choice. My father, who passed 5 years ago this week, spent 32 years on active duty, including multiple combat tours in Vietnam. What I came to learn later in life, he suffered from severe depression, and he never really dealt with it because, of course, back then there was a stigma attached to mental illness, and there wasn't the education, awareness, sensitivity that exists today. So what I love about Ben's company's mission statement, it's providing hope, honor, and healing to soldiers and their families, and that's so freaking cool, and I appreciate it. I really can't wait for this event, Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be a hell of a party, man.
Again, the event will be on May the 27th through the 28th, the Heroes Honor Festival here right at Daytona International Speedway. We'll open up for questions now. Melissa back in the back at the very bottom of the tall camera about there.
Thank you. Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. By the way, I'm a fellow veteran as well, just not Army, I'm Navy. But
We can get along, ma'am. When I was in Iraq, they had these systems that would blow mortars out of the sky.
Wow.
So we'd be walking to chow, all of a sudden the sky would light up with fire. Those are manned by the Navy.
Wow.
So we're going to get along good.
Awesome, awesome. So first, thank you guys for having this event, for what you guys are going to do. Have you had the opportunity to speak with a lot of the veterans in terms of letting them know about this event, and what kind of feedback, if so, what kind of feedback have you received from them in terms of their expectation for it?
I appreciate that question, ma'am. We are taking a multiple approach, both from a digital marketing perspective, which, you know, it's what you got to do to promote an event like this. But we also have a strong grassroots mobilization approach where we've engaged with the American Legion riders, the motorcycle groups, just going across the board to get the word out one by one. Probably one of the most impactful stories that we've heard is there's a guy by the name of Frank Maddox, served in Vietnam 1969, 1970, and he was blown off of his helicopter in 1970, and he came home with a shattered arm. When he was on the bus coming into San Francisco, there were protesters waiting with buckets of blood to throw on the military, and they walked off and had that thrown on them, and they were called baby killers. I sat with Frank 2 weeks ago, and he told me that story, and I asked him what he thought about the Heroes Honor Festival, and he said, "I think it's very kind." I'm sorry. That's the feedback that we're getting. And I think for some veterans, it is really hard, you know, because it's revisiting these things, but it's the right thing to do.
Questions?
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Any other questions? We certainly do. Thank you for being here today. We're excited, I know from a venue perspective, to be a part of this event, and can't wait to the end of May. It's going to be something else. It's going to be very rewarding to see it all come to place. So thank you very much.
Thank you all.
That was the hula.
Oh, roger that.
Reach out.
Thanks, Greg.
That was first of the 5th and third of the 20th. So awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna go one now. Let's go one. Like to get him here sooner so we can go and start the pressure first, then I can at least deliver him to Sirius right afterwards, period. I'm trying to get here.
The Florida Lottery is proud to support education by contributing billions of dollars to Florida schools and awarding countless bright